It inspired this Jimmy Kimmel parody from JFK to Khrushchev during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Don't be a okay?
Even Hillary Clinton shared that joke. Forget postage. Trump's letter was returned for insufficient diplomatic finesse. Gmos, CNN.
Alright, I'm sorry, but my letter keeps coming.
New York.
That was public humiliation. Thanks for joining us. Anderson starts now.
Good evening. We've just learned about a new witness coming forward in the Ukraine affair, this time from the White House. That's our breaking news, and it comes on the eve of testimony from another witness who was reportedly there at a restaurant in Ukraine while EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland talked by cell phone to President Trump. He'll be interviewed behind closed doors tomorrow by House lawmakers. Also tomorrow, in a very public hearing, testimony from the former ambassador to Ukraine, whom President Trump had called, quote, bad news. Those are the exact words that he used to describe Marie Yovanovitch. Bad news, he called her during his July 25th phone conversation with Ukraine's president. Also saying, quote, well, she's going to go through some things. It's unlikely the president meant it this way, but tomorrow...
So, Alvatory, I don't know, is still for testify as subpoena.
As significant
this is what's talking about one of what they call your son that said judge.
David Holmes, a staffer
Talking about
tells lawmakers away from the cameras his story of, as we mentioned, a potentially key phone call came to light in a surprise testimony.
And it's always some type of extortion of some sort.
Now the top diplomat, U.S. diplomat in Ukraine.
You say people that say leave.
Member of my staff could hear President Trump on the phone asking Ambassador Sondland about the investigation.
I don't know what you're going to do. You rely on your daddy or something like that.
Sondland told President Trump the Ukrainians
or whatever it is. But me, I just be on my own, you know.
Following the call with President Trump,
you guys are over there.
asked Ambassador Sondland
dealing with social workers, like, you know, and
Ambassador Sondland responded that President Trump cares more about the investigations of Biden.
I'll be living my life. Probably, you know, doing me part-time work, something like that.
To the European Union,
you know, being a player, you know, that I am.
The inauguration.
Stuff like that. Having a car, beat, motorcycle,
on Sondland to
all
testify
kinds
to
of
what was on that particular
semi-retired, if you will, still disabled, but ready and able.
He also says he hardly knew Sondland.
You know, stay ready.
Wrote $1 million check
and whatnot.
For the
you know, semi-working, I guess you could say.
In any case, this all
I need a $600 bracket, you know what I mean, and I'm still good. I can make up to like $800 a month and not have to worry about anything. So, I mean, you know, that's like nothing. That's nothing.
Hearsay. Not second.
That's nothing. It's more extortion. Like, hey, you know what? We want to barrel our way in. And it's sad because you think about the times where, like, you just share a cigarette and you'd be like, and something like that. You just have a glimpse of like just peace and stuff.
It is not strictly true that.
And so just that, but
evidence rule 803 details
this kind of nurse, you know,
specific exceptions under which hearsay evidence can be used at trial.
And so given that, you know what I mean, so given what it is, and so they answer the Haley Hansen people who they go over to the, what do you call it, go to Fast Waller or whatever, and talking about that. Why don't y'all just leave? You know what I'm saying? You're no help anyway. You don't call us for anything. When we lived in San Francisco, you guys all of a sudden got glamorous and stuff like that and wanted to visit so much. Every time I got a job, you wanted to salt it up in some way. I mean, you were just totally envious or something. And, you know, and so when I was in San Francisco, you guys came around. You guys all went to Harry and David. You guys went to Chinatown and whatnot. And, you know, did all this stuff. And you obviously come around Thanksgiving and invite yourselves for Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. Give out great binders for birthdays, like as some type of like, are you serious? And so, given that nature, you know, I still don't say anything. First time, shame on me. So next couple for a million times, shame on you. And they just align this and be like, okay, talk to your dad when I had to visit a relative in the hospital, stuff like that. So, but if you're talking about terminating cheese, you're talking about like such and such an Amber and stuff. Oh, that's a humiliation. That's just basically saying, you know what I'm saying? That's like that's nothing in common and no lesion. You know, just add to the discrimination, hate against us, and stuff like that.
But we welcome it.
Amber Burnett's so-called such and such.
At least
So that's it. I don't really need him in that sense. You know, I'm not relying on him in that sense. They hold him on, they blackmail my mother in some sort, and beyond statute of limitations, when in fact, those hands are so dirty. That family's hands are so dirty. It's like trying to clean mud. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm talking about it. And so, given that, in the nature of like the weakness of people, you know what I mean? So debilitated and like and stuff like that. And you know, that's it. You know, and that's that right there. And then the conservative cheese is
witnesses, for example, Marie Yovanovitch, who is
which what the Western civilization did to destroy us in that sense. And make it a scandal and make it so politicized people and so demolished.
Essentially, what does Maria Yovanovitch know about
so, I mean,
phone call the president had with the leader of Ukraine?
What more can you say than a political pawn of a person that says who do you value as more worthier soul or capitalist or something like that? It's hard to tell. I mean, even with him, from what I hear, strong arms, all this other stuff, all this contraband. You know, what I mean, even us, how they just tried to like. The salt of the whole thing about us coming into this apartment, that was an epiphany in itself. And so now, how they just two-face around and be like, well, you know, such and such.
They don't see anything wrong.
They don't have any money. That's the problem. You know what I'm talking about? They don't have any. They don't know how to make money. They're very dumb with it. And that's naturally how they are. I mean, that's a staple of how they are. They don't know how to make it. They don't know how to manage it, and that's it. And they don't know how to be ethical about it at all. So that's the problem. That's one problem with it. That's a very more problem because they claim it's they don't argue about money. It's the root of all evil. It's because they don't know how to manage it. They don't know how to. So they're splinter cells. They say they're Western like pig-headed. I mean, I don't want to say pig-headed, but pig-headed people. But they're Western cells. But they're hypocrites in the sense that they don't say that they say, oh, but we're for their religion and stuff and what this stands for and whatever. And so I mean that is so conflicted and so hypocritical. They can't be accountable for anything they do. And they're really just fake cops, and they're just kind of like, and so they flaunt around, they walk around, and they do this stuff, and a pimp with despair and stuff like this, and parade around this state like, oh, this is anthem of the United States. I'm like, that's not what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said,
that meeting between those three individuals was kept.
You don't know how to. I mean, that's it. You don't know how to make money. So I mean, it's not so much wrapped around money and say, oh, that's the root. It's just what I said is a summation of how they are around, say, money, finances, and health in general. Okay, and health. Okay, if you want to talk about health too. Okay, they're not really all that healthy. You know what I'm saying? They might be like, okay, rather.
Well, we thought it was going to come out today.
I don't know what you say, what you make of it. Like, okay, so some people are like wrap their minds with religion around like local jails and stuff like that. And this is like, this is. And I use my hand because I'm not that great. You know what I mean?
Maybe a summary transcript of the president's phone call when he congratulated Zelensky for winning the election in Ukraine.
And so,
ready to go. Inside the White House, including the White House counsel's office.
What do you say? Well, what do you call it? Thing about thing. And so if finances and stuff and health. And so, like, what do you call it? What it is saying, you say, oh, well, I'm healthier than you. Are you sure you're healthier than me? I mean, are you sure you're not lying about what you're in the hospital for? Are you sure you're not, like, what I'm saying? Are you sure when you say you call somebody, like, red or blue, you're not really just kind of, like, being kind of like a skinny about things, you know what I mean? You're not just kind of like being you don't really look at yourself as a skinny in that sense, And I'm not saying like this, I don't know if it's derogatory or not without legion or something, but you know what I'm saying? So when you look at your health and you say, oh, well, I live longer years and stuff like that, you're so arrogant in that, you're done with money. So, and you're used as a tool in Western society or Western philosophy. Not so much that like we don't get along. Like a philosophy of mine. There's not people like me that don't think like me. They can't get along with regular people. Like a TNFA type of person. Or something like that, right?
Is that more of sort of a messaging that the whole quid pro quo is not something which is a term commonly used by